Hello, I'm Vanessa Phillips. Sorry, my light sucks, so I have to have my phone. Like, what's my name? Um, so I'm just talking about chapter six. So I found this chapter really interesting. I came from a background that was talked a lot about in this chapter. Um, I had a childhood with parents who weren't together, like never. They were separated before I was born. I witnessed domestic violence from my mom and my stepdad, like from I can remember like five, until I was removed by DCF around 12. One incident that I can recall is like I watched my mom hold a knife to my stepdad's throat, and like to me it was normal as a kid to see that. Um, but I mean, as I grew up, like I realized that that's not a normal way to act. I lived in 4 to 5 houses um, in the 5 years of elementary school, so it wasn't really steady until I moved with my grandparents. Um, most days I went to bed hungry when I lived with my mom and my stepdad because my parents were passed out from drugs and didn't really like worry too much about what we were doing. I suffered emotional abuse, like my mom wasn't there much. Um, Even though like I really didn't notice it at the time, but it affects me now and through my high school years. I had a really hard time. Um, and so I truly believe that like you can learn violence and it like changes your view on things like growing up. Um, I fought a lot in middle school and high school because I thought it was normal. It was what my parents did, so I fought kids at school and I learned it was a learned behavior. All the things that the chapter talks about seem like I can relate to mostly in my life. Um, Sorry, that was my phone. As a result, I can see in my personal life like things that the chapter talks about that can happen kind of like led up to it. I'm very emotionally attached to most people. I trust very few. Um, I find it very difficult to make friends. Like I stay to myself, even at work. I have like one friend, um, and I don't share things with people. It's very professional, and trust is not something that I tell people. I believe that like if women are like females are abused as a child, um, it can lead to depression. Like anybody, I guess, like it can lead to depression and self-destructive activities. Like I've seen that in my own life. I have come a long way from where I started. So I believe as a child, you have a tendency if you grow up seeing things in your life that are violence, drugs, that you can lead to it. My brothers, I have twin brothers, they're 16. Um, they live with my aunt. Before they moved with my aunt, they were in drugs and alcohol and failing school. Now they're straight A's. So, like, it's all, I think, as a child, it's environmental. Um, if you're in a bad environment, you're going to adapt to that bad environment and you're not going to strive. Um, I think you can become psychotic, and I think most killers and such like that um, learn like that. I was watching a show. It's called Copycat Killers, and most of that series is they say that they were mostly emotionally traumatized as kids. Their parents didn't spend enough time with them. Um, this morning when I was watching one before work, he was a cannibalism, so he killed someone and ate them, and it was because his mom was too strict, didn't let him have any friends, so he had a warped view on the world. And I think if you watch TV a lot and it's um, murder shows and stuff, um, you can start seeing the world differently. I know I like watching a lot of documentaries, and sometimes I have nightmares because I watched a lot of murder like documentaries, and you see the world in a different view once you watch a lot of those. And sometimes if you're not mentally stable, it can lead you to do things that aren't civil and you can kill people, you can do drugs. So I think television, childhood, and a lot of things have to do with violence and how you grow up and how you succeed as a an adult.